Hey everyone, this is Genesis. This is going to be a coding video of me starting something completely from scratch. And what I'm going to use this video for is to kind of outline some of the systems. So I'll have in the back of my mind some of the systems I want to create. And I want to create something a little dynamic or unique maybe for the Armor series. So I want to do almost like a, maybe RTS is a little bit of a strong word. But I'm thinking of, I don't want to give away the story, creating some kind of map-based RTS-like system where all you are is a single-player scenario. You're in the map, you're the commander, you're ordering things around, and I want to create kind of a unique situation that's going to involve some form of diplomacy, unit control, building control, and some other systems in there. But first, I want to see what's even possible, what's not. I want to get the first thing I want to see today is if I can get any kind of unit system created. So I'm going to do this all in a separate kind of file here. And what we're going to do is do it completely from scratch. When I say from scratch is, I'm not using any other mods or any scripts that anyone else has made. Anything that I have made is free game to use and adapt just to speed it up because I'm not a sadist. So that's what we're going to do. The first thing I want to do though is create a unit system. So unit system where it's just going to be displayed by markers on the map, and you'll be able to click on them and move them around to get them movement orders. We're going to work on making it look pretty later. I just want to get the basics of it, see if I can get anything going, kind of proof of concept. And I want the units to be able to have attack, damage, hit points, special abilities, those types of things. So any interface system will go with it. So it's going to be a completely map-based little mini game. You're going to be in this view the whole time. You're stuck in here. It'll be forced open. You won't be able to minimize it. It'll be all through here. Decision trees and dialogues might pop up here when I show you views of the world, but you're in here. The reason for that, I want you to be detached from it. I want this kind of feeling that you're a commander. You're almost detached from it. You are off in this kind of structures from this base, just doing the orders, and you have to kind of deal with the consequences of what you do with the troops. So I don't want to give away the story. It's going to be more than just a side versus side RTS thing. It's just going to be single player only, because I'm looking for a very quick, specific kind of game I want to create. So first things first, let's go ahead and go here, just because I like this better. And I want to see, okay, how do I create a unit system? So the first thing I want to do is figure out how to create a marker on the map here and be able to click on it and define a unit. So I have nowhere where I'm going to start. Usually I plan things out better. However, I'm not doing that this time around. We're just going to go from the ground up, just straight running. I'm going to record every bit of this project and put it up because I want to. So what I'm looking at right now is I'm thinking, okay, I need to find a way to create a marker. And I have a command, it's called view icons, that actually I got from, who did I get this from? I believe from Lars, yep. And it's this great little function you can kind of run, like so. And it's going to pull up all the icons that are in the game. So I want to make this a script, not a mod. And so I can pull up all the markers I want to use for the units. And I think I already have, I believe it's called config markers. So I can look at the config of the game, and I can pull up any icons or pictures or images that are within Arma, and I can go ahead and use it. So I believe there's a config maps or something in here. Oops. I believe there's a config maps. Oh, maybe it's just config markers. This is just config markers. So if I change this to config markers, should, after 2 seconds, execute, and I should get, yep, a bunch of markers here. So what I'm looking for is a marker to designate a type of unit. So we're going to use, let's see, blue forward, we're going to use this B infantry unit here. That's going to designate my, just a normal infantry unit. Okay, so we're going to create a new script here. And we're going to call this unit tests, let's see, map unit test.sqf. Okay. And now I'm just putting some things up here. This is going to be the unit icon. Okay. So I'm imagining I'm going to need like some sort of array of the types of units that I want to be able to have. And so maybe we'll do, let's see, we'll call this, we'll do these with the acronym, and this code is all going to be changed later. This is purely proof of concept. Let me get some water here. So, unit array. This is the unit list. Okay. And I think this is actually going to be literally just a list. So the first one we're going to have is we're going to do, and I'm going to have to add some comments here. So this will be basic squad. I think we'll do squad base. So you don't build like Rifleman A, Rifleman B. It's going to be squad base. So basic squad is, we're going to do comments for each of these. So we'll do maybe the first one, you know, we'll probably do HP base. I'm trying to think, or unit base. Let's keep it with unit based. So what we're going to do is say it'll come with, I'm just going to do 12. So number of units. First, let's do, bam. This will be the image to use. We'll do the movement speed. So I'm making this up. We're going to do like 5. I don't know. And this is going to be reversed where more equals, or higher equals longer to move, or time to move from point to point. We're going to do, okay. Like a damage number, I don't know, 2. Damage. We'll do range of, I don't know, range. And right now I'm just putting random numbers down. I'm just thinking about what do I want a unit to have in RTS. So they usually have, and with image to use, the number of units, movement speed, damage, and range. And then we can have last one of like special abilities, something like that. I'm sure we'll add more. But there's our first squad. Okay. And then what I want to do is, well, let's see if I can define this. Did I do something wrong here? Oh, yeah, there's nothing in there. I've not used any kind of code. I haven't touched armor in a minute. So there it is right there. There's our first squad. And you should probably give it a name too. We'll just call this the Rifleman Squad. Yeah. Just like that. So now we have a name for it. Okay. So now we have a first bit of random code that doesn't do anything yet. So I want to see if we can, within this time, get a created marker on the map. So we're going to create a test function. So the unit create equals, okay, so this is going to be our first function. This one's going to create a unit on the map. So really a marker, right? So what I'm going to do is take some code out of this after action report system. And I'm going to take some things from here. And it's going to be this crate marker stuff right here. Okay. I'm going to take some of that. I know I'm going to need that for sure. Now my problem is that can I use this? I think I can. Maybe this is, let's double check. So it gets a little complicated. Let's go ahead and open this up. I'm just double checking here. I don't want any of this to be local. I'm going to make this as if I can support multiplayer to some extent, for sure. But I don't see how to use multiplayer in this quite yet. So let's see here. What I'm looking for is if I do create marker or if I do set marker type. That's what I want. Is that in here? Oh yeah, there it is. So that's gonna be just this I can use. Oops. Hit that bug. There we go. Yeah, so it's gonna be that. Okay. We're gonna do params. We're gonna do name. So this function is going to handle the creation of the actual unit. So it needs to know the name. It's going to take the marker type, and then we're going to do number, which is kind of the HP, right? Forward, I'm assuming. Movement, damage, range, and then I just figured armor probably is the one I want to add in there, right? Let's do 2 armor, and then we'll do special abilities. Okay. So and then we'll probably also want to pass over to the create pause. And right now that's just going to be my position. So create pause, squad name. All right, good. So what we can do now is create pause. So I'm going to create the marker, and we're going to want to name it this. I think that is fine, actually. Marker, it's going to be an icon. The shape is going to be the marker type. It's going to be color blue. We should probably do color as well. Yeah, let's add that in there. And I'm actually going to make this west. It's going to be side west, so we're going to actually change this up a little bit. So squad name, marker type, and we're going to add in here is going to be side. If side is equal to west, then bam. Color blue. Set marker text is going to be the squad name, which is the first one. And then we will do something like this where we will have to have some basic variables to set. So the var set equals. So the way I'm doing this right now is very inefficient, but I'm looking more to get like a proof of concept to see if it's even possible. I'm not going to set up a whole system if it's not ready to go. Okay. I don't think you can set variables to markers, right? So now we got something to learn here. Set variable. I highly doubt we can set variable to markers, right? Hey, location, task, group, object, namespace, control, display. Okay. So we even have a little trick we have to do here. So we have to create let's see, hold on here. We have to create a little workaround system here. And so what the units are, since you'll never actually see the physical units, I'm going to make this crate be the units we run the map. So they're going to actually be in physical locations. So these are going to act as our pathfinding. Or we can set pause these. They'll also be able to tell if we're inside something we shouldn't be. So we're going to use this crate for now. This might change, but that's what we're using right now. I'm going to do copy to clipboard, string, type of cursor object. Is this something wrong? Copy to. Oh, I sure did. Okay. We go back to map unit test. It's a line 1 crate. Okay. Tied object equals crate vehicle. I think it's something like that. Let me double check the crate vehicle command. So we're like, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this so I can set all the variables to this object and have the marker tied to it. We're just going to do something like this. I'm just going to copy this. We're going to do, I think can collide is one. Yeah, this can collide. We're going to do pause that way. It's quicker. Okay. And set marker, set variable, d unit info, and it's going to be this information here. And we can do things in here, probably like make modifiers and things, so upgrades will improve certain abilities. But we're just going to start right there for now. Squad name, marker type, side. Number, movement, damage, range, armor. Okay. And what I'm going to want to do is do a sleep 5, delete marker, delete vehicle. This is for testing. So now I want to see if I can just get this to spawn. So we're going to do for testing. Move this later. Okay. So what I want to do is if I can define this. I also want to push back tied object. I'm saving all these into a giant array that we can access outside of this function, so that lets us keep track of all these units easier. Okay, so we have that now. I want to see if I can actually create this now. So what we're going to do is we're going to use it as spawn. So we're going to do spawn. A lot of this, like the naming of this, will change later, but like I said, we're just trying to figure it out for right now. So what we're gonna do, and this, even these params might have to change actually, when I think about it. So we're gonna do select 0, then get pause play. Oops, wow, that's really bad. Get pause player. So what this is gonna do is get my position. This will be the first parameter. And the second parameter is going to be this select 0, and now see this won't work. So what we have to do, because the way that, I don't know how to explain it too well, but since I have this get pause player, we have two variables we're trying to pass through here. And this one has more than 2. And so it's going to take this entire, so if I do this parameter select 0, it's going to pull this entire thing in here. It's the first one in the list. And we need to break this down. So what we need to do is, I'm going to save these. Down here, I'll show you a little trick. I don't know how to explain things, so I never try to teach people. But you can do unit params, or we'll call it group params. And then we can do group params, like that, and then it'll break it down. So it'll take the big array and break it down even further. So this, I'm rushing this, which I shouldn't do, but we're going to see if this throws out any errors. So we did get one error. And I know what that was. There's the box. We got an error, so the rest of it didn't go. It did delete it though. So despawn units. marker didn't show up though. So marker type, marker type. So marker text, squad name. We're gonna try that one more time. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now we have a marker on the map that's tied to a box, and it gets deleted after 5 seconds. Beautiful. There it is, Rifleman Squad. Zoom out, it's still there, zoom in. And we can even get fancy with it. The further you zoom out, the more the changes their sizes. That is definitely something we can do, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay. So now we have something that's going to spawn in. A marker. Okay, so now we need a way to... Can we click on that marker? Unit. Click. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky. So let's... Again, I'm going to use this. I think I have... No. So we need to add an event handler that ties into the map. So when you click on the map, it fires a command. So what I'm talking about is these add display. Oh, I think I have actually saved somewhere. So the main map is 12. Yep. So we need to add a display event handler to the map. Okay. On display 12. Is that? I think it's gonna be more than that. IDD main map. Well, maybe. Let's give it a shot. So we're gonna just take this. And I think... Well, we're gonna test this. Anyway, at any rate. Find display 12. And we're going to change it to key down because I want on mouse down. Or does that count as key down? I think it actually might. We'll pull that open. And then here is the display. That is to remove it, I believe. Okay. So we have on button click. What's on key down is what we're using right now. Key down. And I don't think that one's going to work. Yeah. Okay. So we want on mouse button click. Use on list box, combo box, text box button. Okay, that won't work. We need something that works on display. Is the map a... Now is the map a display? No, it's display. Boxes. Stance info, stamina bar, hand task info, stance info. Okay, now I think that's gonna be it. Okay. So we need, how about mouse button down? There we go. We can use mouse button up, probably like we click. That's what we're going to use. And then we're going to call the unit click. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, so we're going to just go ahead and execute the code. Oh, you can see it's working just fine. And even if I close it and reopen it, it's still working. You can tell where I'm clicking on. There's a screen space, I think. Yeah, it's a screen space. And then, so we're going to see. What I'm going to do is, if I run this, if it removes it. Okay, good. I'm going to have this actually execute a function. here, so I'm kind of just organizing some things, make this a little bit easier for me. I'm going to have it remove and re-add that to a handle every time this launches. Okay. And we're going to make this sleep like 30 seconds before it deletes, because that's okay for now. And now we want to set the function for what happens when we release the button. So mouse button up. So here are the params. So the parameters that get passed through. So we have display control of the button. X pause, Y, shift, control, and alt. Okay. Is that right? That seems right. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want with X pause and Y pause, how do we get the position on the map? And I think that is there's a command for that. Let's see, mouse to there's a world. Oh, control map screen. I don't think it's pause screen to world. Converts map screen coordinates into world coordinates. Yep. So I think we use this maybe. Map screen coordinates. Okay, so we would do something like this. So display control. X. Anyway, so what I'm trying to do is if I can return the position of the actual object in the world here. So I can do world pause, assistant chat, string, world pause. So again, run it. Let's see if we get an error message. Okay, so I'm using this command wrong. Let's take a look. So it's asking for a control. I'm going to hint this again. Okay, so we get... Oh, maybe it's I have to use the find display. Maybe. I don't know if that's how that... I could be using this totally wrong. See, I don't know too much about this, so this is why it's kind of me bumbling around. It's saying it's control. This is map control. Let's try it one more time. Okay. I know I've done this before, and I can't remember how. Screen tour. Oh, so. This actually might be the better. Returns the position landscape corresponding to a given point on screen. No, that's not going to be a good one. Wow. Okay, map, let's look at that some more. So map, screen, map. Let's just look at map commands. Map grid position. I know there is. Okay. So something like this. So I'm missing something with the map. There's a control in there that I need to grab, and I don't know what that is. So I am going to look it up really quick. Let's see. I'm just taking a quick look at a potential solution. Now I'm just going to look on anyone else. So grab these on map single click. Okay, that's really not exactly what I want. So let's take a look at if I got a way I can find all the display. Control, like, is there a control? Okay, so I'm gonna do some snooping around because I know for a fact that I've done something like this before. It's just been a while ago. And we're going to use find display 12. I'm going to take a look to see if I can find anything about it. So the map must have its own unique control. Display control 51. I bet that's it. Display control 51. So find display 12. Display control 51. Let's see if that's it. Oh. Oops. Hey, there we go. You can see in the bottom left, we're actually getting positions now in the world, I believe. And just to test, what we're going to do is player set pause, world pause. Click here, teleports me there. So now we're getting the exact position. And you can see now I'm right clicking, it's also doing it too, so we need to we'll have to filter some of that, but that's good though, so that way we can right click on it. Maybe if you right click on them you get more info from them. If you left click, let's see what it is. That's what to figure out, you know, the typical left click to select, right click to tell them to move, I think. So it's good stuff. Oops. Okay. So now we have to do on selecting. So if button is equal to 0, then so the 0 means it's left click. Left click. Right. And now we need another function here that we're missing. D-unit closest object. Now this is another function I'm just going to steal. And this is one I've used for almost every single one of my projects. It's been so helpful. Let's see. thing is finding it. I think it'd be economies as well. Closest object. There we are. We're just going to take this. Going to put that right into here. It's definitely a little bit more of a bigger script. In here, we're going to remove a lot of this fluff code right now. Do I have an example how to use it in here? Oh. Okay. Okay, so what we have to do now, what I want it to do, now we have about 23 minutes left. When I left click, I want it to find that box on the ground in the world, find the closest one. And so to do that, what we do is, remember that array that I created earlier here, where I put them boxes and markers into a giant array together? Well, what we're going to do now is I want to make these last, 30 seconds is fine. When I click, I want it to find this box. So what we're going to do is grab this, and we have to create a new list of just crates. Okay, so for each of the despawn units, we want to do just crates, push back, x select 0. We just want the crate, we don't want the markers. And this is to set it up for the function. So now we want to call this closest function thing, so we're calling it the closest unit object, closest object. Okay, so we pass a list into it of that, and the object we're testing to, or the object can also be a position. So we're also going to pass the world pause through there. Okay, and then what else does it ask for? It asks for an order, which is we want the closest one, which is going to be true, and then just in case it debugs out, I'm going to do a debug thing of 1. Okay, that's going to be the closest unit. And right now, I'm not going to worry about clicking and dragging this like multiple units. We're just going to do 1. Okay, and of course, we want to do a distance check. Well, let's just see if that works so far. So we'll do a hint string. We'll do system chat string closest unit. So hopefully that will pull up our crate for us. And we're going to do this. We're going to paste it. And you can see in the bottom left now, it's pulling up the closest crate. I come here and I create. Oh, this is great. Okay, very good. So now what we need to do, do we need to do that? I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we need to find the marker attached to it. So now the closest unit. And then we need to mark that as our selected unit. So gen selected unit equals closest unit. And what I want to see if I can do is get it just right now. I'm just going to make it teleport to wherever I right click. So click, and then we'll even add it. Is it players? Okay, we'll make it look beautiful later. Remember, what we can do is we need to also go back and make it look a lot better. And I have ideas on how to do that, but I'm saying, is this even possible right now for me to do this? Okay. I need to right click if button is equal to 1, then this. So what I'm doing right here is checking to see if selected unit is nil. And if it is nil, so we right click without having it defined, it's just going to exit the function. Okay. And then what we're going to do is do gen selected unit, set pause, world pause. And then what we're going to do as well is add a check up here just to add this in here. So I want to do, if you right click again, it deselects, or left click again on it, it deselects the unit. So if gen select unit is equal to, well, first we do if, well, we should probably define it up here. Object null. So that way it's never nil. But if okay, we'll see how this goes. We reset to object null. Okay. You can see now we're teleporting the box, but you're noticing that the marker is not following. Uh-oh. Okay, so now we need to work on that. So, what I think we should do, just to make this easier, is add the marker. And I'm thinking, what we're going to do is be a little bit, make this easier. We're going to take this variable, this array out. We're just going to put the crates in there. And then the marker is going to be set here as well. And I have an issue. See, these are all quotes. Whoops. I think I caught that. So I want these to be the actual variables. So now we can pull whatever we need from the box itself. So the box is like holding all these variables, and the marker is just there for it to look, for the player to interact with. Okay, so now once we do this, we actually don't even need to, we can actually speed up our script, because now we can just call that, we can get rid of this whole thing. Bam. But now what we can do is marker equals variable. So now we can get this information from here. So we can get the information from the box now. We'll just do unit info. Let's leave it like that, and we'll do the marker equals unit info select 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Select 9. Marker set marker pause. World pause. So now the marker should be moving with it. Okay, here's the box. Left click to select. Now, as you can see, I'm right clicking and it is moving around with it. Okay, we have 15 minutes left. You know what? Let's make this a little bit more fancy. So I want to know when I left click on something. One, I can select a unit from very far away. Do not like that. So I need to make some changes here. So right now, I am just deleting the crate, which is fine. But, however, I need to set this up where it will delete the marker and the crate automatically once the damage is set to 1. So we're going to do, instead of just deleting it, we're going to set its damage to 1. And you're probably like, why are you doing that? Because I'm going to add a killed event handler to it. So when the crate gets killed, it will do this for me. So now, I have to go back. I think we have time. Just add event handler. I always do this just to make sure I do it right. Okay, when we create the object, which is right here, I'm going to add the killed. We're going to do this, call killed event handler. here. So the killed event handler passes these parameters. So we're just going to put that in there. And we have the unit. So unit get variable, get unit info. So now we're pulling this information again. And then we want to delete marker. And we're going to make this more complex later, so you can do like warning sounds or unit killed, unit lost, those types of messages here. But we want to delete the marker. And then we also want to remove it from this global list of the spawn units here. And I no longer want to be using that to run, so we want to be removing it from this list. And so what we do is we do private index 2 equals, we'll use this new findIf command. So we're going to find the index of this, and then we're just going to delete at index 2. So that will remove the unit from the array. So this is the only unit we can select. And then after that, we'll delete vehicle unit. Okay, so we're going to run this one more time, except I'm going to have them last for 60 seconds. Oh. What happened? Oh, I didn't add a... There we go. Okay, there's one, and then I want to be very careful now that I've defined that. I do not want to grab that again. And I have 2. So now I should be able to come in here. Uh-oh. You see, now we have an issue. I'm clicking to select this guy. But that ain't working. So let's make sure that we see it's only listing 1 in there. So why is that? It seems like it's probably an issue in how I executed that, huh? Oh. It's only for listing 1. Now we have an interesting issue of somehow, for some reason, it seems to be not doing this correctly. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to reset this to null. And we're going to rerun this. Oh, see, I'm calling this. This is the problem. I'm calling this. Found the issue. I'm just very silly. Okay, so they all got deleted appropriately, which is good. Oh. If I left click, right click on it, okay. Left click, right click, left click, right click. Okay, there we go. Now you can see it's actually working. I can swap in between these two guys. There's an issue here where I can click really far away and see it selects whatever's closest. Which, what I want to do is, well, it's kind of when you zoom in to shrink them, I think, to some extent. And obviously, this is an issue where you're kind of zooming around, looking around, it's teleporting. So now we have it so we can select different ones and they get deleted over time, and this one should get deleted here any moment now. Hopefully. You can see it can teleport, and there it goes. And we got 9 minutes left, so we can do some debugging. So it looks like at some point in time that equals 0, 0, 0. So if it's going to equal that, we're just going to exit with. Okay. So we have 8 minutes. So let's get the... Let's add one more thing. So the selection. When you're selecting a unit. So we're going to create a... I think this is how we're going to do this. So... and we're going to have to change this up. Instead of equaling a unit, it's going to have to be an array because we might be selecting multiple units. So we want to support this for being able to select multiple units at once. So we're actually going to do that instead. So unfortunately, this is going to have to be like this. And this is if you want to select a single unit. So we're going to do select 0. So we're just kind of setting this up to support. It's going to be an array so you can select multiple units. And if it's empty, you just exit. And then what we want to do is set this to support multiple units. So we're going to do actually for each gen selected unit. So now we can do it for everyone. And it's going to be the same thing. This code up here is not going to go inside there, but we're going to change these up a little bit. There we go. So now that should, it's not going to allow us to select multiple units, but it's going to allow it to lay that foundation for it. As long as I can still move stuff. As you can see, I can still move it. I can deselect it. So what I want to do is get a selector so you know what you're selecting and moving. Let's see, we have about 6 minutes. So let's take a look at what we can do here. How do we want to do that? When you select a unit, how do you want to do that? That's a little tricky. We're going to create another variable called let's see, gen selection markers maybe. So, okay, wow. This is going to be a little bit more challenging than I thought. Okay, clear all selections. So we need to create a function that's show selection. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish this in 5 minutes, but so whenever you select the unit, we want it to add an additional marker that's going to follow it. So what we want to do is, good boy, okay, get that page ready. Want to get this ready. Okay. So for selecting, we probably want to use... let's, I don't even know if I'm going to still have that. So we want to use... Let's just use, that one's not bad, but there's one here that I really like. Let's just use none of these. Looks like a tree one. That one's not bad either. Let's use this one. Okay, so selected friendly. As I'm assuming there's a selected friendly one. Okay. To this. I'm just kind of winging this right now. See here, respond to a message. Okay. So this one's a little more difficult, so we want to do object. And then we're going to do so private pause equals get pause object. And so we're going to create a marker, blah, blah, blah. And then I think we should do that. And then we actually set another variable of gen select, or marker select, and we're going to actually put this marker in there so we can delete it as needed. Maybe we might need that. Oh, so we can move it? Okay, yeah. And maybe we should do if you issue a movement order. Should it cancel? We'll have to play around with some of the controls, but for now what we're gonna do is that. Get that. Okay. So now, when we select the unit, so I'm going to have right now just happens when we select a single unit. I think we can do that in the next 40 seconds. What I want to do and we just call that, so create selection marker. This is definitely a little bit in the unknown territory here. This has definitely got to be optimized. But what I want to do is, if we need to reset, we also need to delete the markers. Selection markers. Oh yeah, we can already do that, so we need to put this. Oh, where is it? Okay. So I'm sure this is going to create an error, but we're out of time. So we are just going to call this in. Let me go ahead and make sure I define these again. And then we're going to create that. I'm going to left click. You can see it created the marker around it. I need to adjust the size and everything, but there we go. Right now, it's not deselecting it like it should be. But if I create another one, you can see now we have a selection marker that moves in between each of them. And it should be deselecting it if I click again, but it sure isn't, so we'll have to worry about that some other time. But there we go, guys. We have some basic selecting of units and groups and teleporting things around. We have a selector icon. Then we have units that have variables, all information. The next thing we'll work on is probably actually pathing. So when I click here, they don't teleport, they actually move through the map. So that'll be our next step, as you can see. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.